I was just sitting here thinking because I'm a business owner and I was just thinking about all of the financial challenges that I've gone through while raising CJ, my son who has Down syndrome and autism. And I think a lot of times, as parents, we don't really talk about it. Our financial challenges when it comes to raising our children and the additional expenses that we have that are involved because a lot of people really just don't know. And it starts off with the sometimes the inability, I can't say it's for everyone's household, but sometimes the inability for both parents to work due to their child's needs and medical needs. So a lot of times you'll find that it's either the husband or the wife that goes to work, and then the other parent stays home with the child. And that was my case when I first gave birth to CJ. His father worked, and I had to stay home with CJ. Keep in mind, if you looked at some of the other videos, CJ was in the hospital for 2.5 months. So I had to be in the hospital with him, and then his dad would come and kind of relieve me during those shifts. And so it would put a financial strain. And so once we had that experience of being in the hospital for 2.5 months, we knew that our life would be forever changed and that someone would need to stay home. So we made the decision that I would no longer work and that he would go ahead and take on the financial responsibility for the household. But with that came the fact that finances were tight. And then keep in mind also that we had well close to $1 million worth of hospital bills. Luckily, most of it was covered by insurance, but we had $10,000 in medical bills that we had to pay. And so, off of one income, and it wasn't like he was an executive or even a supervisor on a job. He was a regular, hourly employee, and we had to live off of that and try to pay these medical bills that we had. And so we had to make the decision. My mother opened her home to us, and we wound up moving in with her to save, on some expenses. So we didn't have to pay rent anymore, things like that, so that we can cover those bills. Also, there were different medical equipment and things like that that needed to be taken care of that were not always covered by medical insurance. So we had to take on that burden if he needed certain types of medical equipment. We had to go ahead and pay that out of pocket. So that is one of the areas in which families oftentimes, have some financial struggles. And quite frankly, you don't hear a lot of talk about it. And I think that it's a shame that we have to put on a front as if everything's okay and that we're handling everything just fine. I think that anybody, even if you're not a low income family, even a middle class family or someone who's wealthier, you still run into these problems because a lot of times we live above our means. So you don't have the income, the extra income to take care of medical equipment, co-payments, because also if you do not have Medi-Cal and you have regular insurance, you are going to most likely, if you're dealing with a child with a lot of medical problems, you're going to have a lot of doctor's visits. And that means a lot of co-pays. So that's what we ran into sometimes because it wasn't always that we had Medi-Cal. Sometimes we didn't. So we would have co-payments and those would get expensive. And we went to the doctor frequently and we had different specialists. So just imagine those. I mean, even if it was, $25, but most times it's more than that. So $50 copay. And just think if you have, those appointments, 4 or 5 appointments in a month, those add up. For CJ, even until this day, he still wears diapers. So 12 years of purchasing diapers. And we've gone from purchasing the regular children's diapers to now having to purchase adult diapers, which are way more expensive and you don't get as many in the package. So, we've had to foot that bill for that expense. Luckily, we do have where the insurance covers his diapers, but just like right now, we're waiting for authorization, another clearance for us to get approved for diapers. So while we wait on that, we have to pay out of pocket. I have to pay out of pocket because I'm the only one in the home. So I have to pay out of pocket for those diapers. CJ also, he eats, Gerber rice cereal, baby food. We've tried regular milk, does not work well in the system. So I've tried soy milk, rice milk, and now we are doing the silk almond milk. So that's more expensive than regular milk. Everything is more expensive. And so, my struggle has always been how to stay afloat and take on these extra expenses. I mean, because quite frankly, if I don't make a certain amount of money, I still have to buy these supplies. There's no cutting corners. With the rest of the family members in the household, the other kids, you can maybe cut corners. Instead of the name brand peanut butter, buy generic peanut butter. But with CJ, his diet has been so strict up until recently that we've had to buy the same food. You can't cut corners, so you have to pay the premium price. And that's what it is. Same with diapers. There are only a certain type of diapers that will fit him appropriately, so we have to buy those diapers. In a previous video, I told you about the shoes. We had to buy the Converse shoes. There was no way around it. We had to spend the money. If you wanted shoes, if we needed shoes, just have to pay the money. And so a lot of parents are struggling financially when they're raising children with disabilities. And I know families who have 2 children in the home with a disability. So just imagine the expenses that they're taking on. Going back to the job situation, when I did work a 9 to 5, I struggled with scheduling and having flexible schedules because CJ school, they would call me constantly to come pick him up. Sometimes as often as every other day. So just imagine you're working for someone else, working a 9 to 5, and now you get this phone call from the school saying you need to pick up your child. I have family members in the area, but all of my family members work also, so no one could take off work and go pick up CJ. It was up to me. And on every job, it became an issue. And so there goes the other financial struggle of maintaining a job. A lot of parents lose their jobs, don't have employers that understand what it takes to raise a child with different abilities. They don't get it, and they're not going to allow for flexibility, unfortunately. So that's why now I am an entrepreneur. I run my own business. And with running your own business, you still have a challenge because it takes time to build your clientele. So, I just want everyone, this is not even just for parents, but just the general public or family and friends, understand that. So, if you can help someone out, I don't care if it's just buying a pack of diapers. I've had family members just bring a whole case of diapers from Costco or something, and they just don't know how much that meant to me because I might be on my last diapers with no money in the bank, and then someone would come and bring me diapers, or someone would say, "What do you need?" or "Here's $20." $20 goes a long way. Somebody just gives you $20. That would be the world to me at that time when I was really, really struggling to make ends meet. So just keep that in mind if you know someone, just those little things, or find out what their kid loves to eat and maybe purchase that for them. Or if you know about a program that will help them financially or get food, you can share that with them as well. It will be priceless. It will be so worthwhile just to give that information over to them because 9 times out of 10, they really need it. I want to tell you about something because I just want to put this into perspective for somebody. So we complain all the time. I know tons of mommies and daddies complain about daycare costs. So imagine me. It was around 2007, 2008. I was working for a law firm in Santa Monica. And I was trying to enroll CJ in the school district that serviced Culver City because that's where we resided. So I had to be at work at a certain time, but school did not start until after that time. So say I had to be at work at 8:45. School did not start till 9:30. There were no before school programs that would accommodate CJ because of his disability. So what was I going to do? Unfortunately, I was not able to put him in to Culver City's school district because the time frame didn't work and I needed to keep my job. So that didn't work for me. So I researched every program possible. Most programs serviced older children, so CJ was younger at the time and they would not take him. So I did eventually find a program in Santa Monica, and it was a wonderful program. But with that wonderful program came a high price. So I know that on average, people are paying $600 to $800 maybe a month for one child, possibly. You might get lucky and find something cheaper if you're doing the daycare. I'm not sure. But for me, I had to pay over $1,200 a month for CJ to go to this program while I worked. $1,200 a month. So just imagine I'm in Culver City. My apartment's already sky high. Then I'm paying for gas, food, utilities, student loans, all of these things, a car payment, all of these things. And then I have $1,200 that I have to pay for daycare. And so a lot of times that's what we wind up having to pay, a premium price for everything under the sun. And if you're a parent out there and you're struggling, please don't. Come on. I know how it is, and you don't want to tell anyone. You want to do it all yourself, because that's the spirit we have, even with taking care of our kids. We want to do it all ourselves, figure it all out ourselves. Tell somebody, or, try to find resources. You just have to. Really, it's about your child and being able to provide for them. So whatever way that you need to do it, whether it's asking a family member, a friend, or seeking out some type of help, or maybe there might be small grants out there. I know a lot of times special needs organizations, they will provide grants for medical equipment, therapy, things of that nature. Maybe research those possibilities for your household, because we pay a lot of money that people really don't understand. I mean, I had to get special clothes, or you have to get really, really, really customized things for your child, and people don't know that. So they'll continue not to know if you don't share, if you don't tell them. So that's my spiel on the finances, because I understand. I've had to struggle with it the whole time with raising CJ. The whole time. I mean, whether my income was high or low, it was a struggle regardless, because his needs vary, his needs change, and as he gets older, it doesn't get cheaper. Actually may get more expensive. So just keep that in mind, okay, that you are not alone. I've been one to struggle. And so just know that if you do need to reach out to me, okay, at info@specialshadesofcolor.org. Remember to reach out to family and friends, as well as different special needs organizations and things in your community to get the financial assistance that you need. All right, I'm out, and I will see you next time.